chase, and no matter what, I'm living without everything. I got a dream to chase, and no matter what, I'm living.
I'm your host for today's evening. Welcome to the 7th meeting of the Rotary Year 2021-2022. I'm glad that you could join us today evening. So, allow me to call this meeting to order. The meeting has officially begun. I'd like now to invite Rotarian Corinne Barty to lead us in the Rotary Grace. Corinne, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, President Wilson. May we bow our heads for the grace. O God and giver of all good, we thank thee for our daily food. May Rotary friends and Rotary ways help us have thee all our days. Amen.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Corinne, for that. And now I'd like to pose a toast. If you have a glass, charge it. If you don't, hand over heart, your right hand over heart. A toast to the President of the Republic of Kenya.
To the President.
To the President.
To the President.
I would like now to invite Rotarian Janet Okum to lead us in the four-way test. Rotarian Janet.
Good evening, guys. I'll start with the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be of goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Janet, for that. So at this juncture, let me give a shout out to the guests that will join us today. Let me start with just a minute. Let me appreciate the presence of Caroline Miner. Thank you so much for joining us again. Appreciate the presence of Noreen. I love your energy. Thank you so much for coming again. These are people who have joined us. I don't want to introduce themselves, but they are our regular visitors. Thank you so much. I'd like to hear from Lorraine. I don't know if you just tell us what you do, your name, and how you joined, how you got to know about this meeting, if you don't mind.
Thanks, President Wilson. Hi, everyone. Sorry. So I work in sales and marketing at Rakit Ben Kaiser, and I got to know about the meeting because I'm in the group, and also you sent me the poster.
Yeah, thanks so much, Lorraine. Your pronunciation. And it's here, Rotarian Lorraine Kiriga, PRC Karen. Please say hi. Kirigia.
Yes, it's Kirigia. Good evening, Mr. President and Rotary Club of
Lorraine.
Can you hear me?
She can hear. No. Yes, she can hear me. Yes. Now I can hear you.
All right. Good evening, Mr. President and Rotary Club of Madaraka. I've been one of your regulars as well. Perhaps not in your year. It's my first time in your year. I'm happy to be here from Rotary Club of Karen. I don't know that you can hear me at all.
Thank you so much. I can hear you. Yeah, good. I can hear you. Okay, cool. That's good. Let me go into the next session. One of our Rotarians has just lost, but let me just start off this announcement session. So number one, to all the Rotarians for Madaraka, next week on Monday, 23rd, we'll have a physical meeting at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club. The meeting will be the DG's visit. So the district governor is coming to visit our club next week on Monday, on the 23rd. So my attendance is targeted at 100%. So if you're returning in the house from Madaraka, please make sure you attend. It will be a physical meeting starting off promptly at 7 p.m. So next Monday, there'll be a meeting at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club, a physical meeting. So please make sure you attend this meeting for the DG's visit. Let's welcome the DG warmly by being a full house. So make sure you attend the meeting. And now, sorry, Muto has seemed to have left. Yeah, Muto, please take us through your announcement. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, everyone. Announcing about our installation for 28th of this month, installation of President Wilson. Just to urge everyone to pay up in good time, because we need to reserve, we need to make a booking in good time. So if we can all be able to buy the tickets and RSVP by next week Wednesday, would really appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you, Muto, for that. Let me make this announcement on behalf of our treasurer, Paris Mukuria. She's currently unavailable for this meeting, but this is to Rotarians from Raraka in the meeting today. Please make sure you pay your subs. Just to note, during the DG's visit, one of the requirements that all dues to Arai district and country should have been paid before his visits. And we need your support by you paying your subs for us to enable us to pay all our dues. So ensure you pay your dues this week. You have here, you have half year and the other half for next year. So for this year, please pay this week so that we can meet our obligations to Arai country and district. So it's very, very critical that you pay your dues so that we're able to pay all our dues also. So thank you so much for that. The next session, I'll invite Rotarian Diana Muya to introduce our guest speaker for the evening. Diana.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our guest speaker for today. Dr. Koki is a medical doctor and public health specialist with over 20 years of experience in healthcare. She holds a Bachelor of Medicine and a Bachelor of Surgery degree from the University of Nairobi, a master's degree in public health from the University of Nairobi, and an MBA in strategic management from Kenyatta University. She also has a diploma in information systems from the Institute for the Management of Information Systems, as well as been an alumni of the Afya Bora Consortium Fellowship Program in Global Health Leadership. Some awards and recognition she has received include the Business Daily Top 40 Under 40 Women in Kenya Awardee in 2014, and Afya Plus Imarisha Exemplary Staff of the Year 2014. She's a wife and a mother to a 21-year-old son and a 15-year-old daughter. Karibu sana, Dr. Koki.
Thank you, Diana. Good evening, Rotary Club of Madaraka. I'm so glad to be here. Let me put on my video so at least you can see me for a few minutes. Yes, I'm so glad to be here and for the opportunity just to have a chat with you this evening. When Wilson reached out to me, it was a couple of months ago, right? And I was like, yes, I'll share a topic. And it took me a while to come up with what I wanted to share with, but it's something that I'm really passionate about. And so I hope by the end of this evening, you'll have gained something useful from my talk. So I think I can just go straight to the presentation. Let me share my screen. Okay, it'll need to be enabled.
Just try.
I try now. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, I believe you can all see my screen.
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay, great. So my topic is on daily legacy living, and I just want us to sort of, by the end of the talk, it's really more like reflection and just for us to just think, because I think we're all about, what can we do? Can we make our lives better? Can we make other people's lives better? So it's really something to help us reflect about our life and just basically how we go through it. So I'm sure we have all asked ourselves some of these questions, maybe not once, twice, but at least I think everybody has at some point asked, what is my legacy? And where does my legacy begin and where does it end? A lot of times people think that legacy is only after you're dead. That's what matters. But is there more to legacy? Do you leave your legacy on a day-to-day basis? So there's this guy called Vince Luciani who said that legacy is simply the byproduct of you loving yourself and living your purpose every day. So it's more about what happens day to day and not really just what happens when you're gone, because a lot of times people be like, it's when I'm dead, therefore my legacy is what is left of me when I'm no longer there. No, but it's actually more than that. You actually do live your legacy on a day-to-day basis. So other questions that we have asked, and if we've not asked ourselves, we should ask ourselves, is like, why am I on earth? What is our purpose? Does what I do matter to anyone? And what will I be remembered for when I'm no longer here? That's a question that sort of really gets to the depth and the, about who we are, and why you're on this earth. And so you should also ask yourself, the people who you meet and interact with daily, what do they remember you for? It's not just about being remembered when you're no longer there, when you're dead. It's about even the encounters that you have with people. When you walk away, what do they remember you for? And does it matter anyway? Sometimes we focus on the bigger scheme of things and forget about the little things that happen each day. So the question is, does it matter and should it matter? So for me, I say that the daily small and the even insignificant looking decisions and the things that we do, they do matter in the long run. They really do. So I want to just share with you lessons and things that I have learned and continue to learn as I go through life. Remember, I think life is just one long journey of learning. Learning never stops. It never ends. So even as I continue to learn, there are things that I'm picking up along the way. And so that's what I just want to share with you through this session. So I want to start in South Sudan in 2010. As mentioned, I am a medical doctor, but I work in the public health sector. So I'm not practicing as such. I work in programs, and I had the opportunity to work in an NGO that took me all the way to South Sudan in 2010, a very, very remote village. I had never been to any place like that. It was, getting there was like a whole day, and people in that part of the village, they don't even wear clothes. You can see these young boys are naked, and so was everybody in that village. And it was, it made me think a lot about life, because when I saw these boys, these are young boys, maybe 10 years old or so. My son at that age was about the same age, 9, 10. And when I looked at them, I said, one of these boys could easily be my son. I could be these people. There's nothing that I have given God for me to be where I am today, for me to have been born in Kenya and then born in South Sudan, having known war all their lives and living difficult lives. There's nothing that made me be born where I am, comfortable in Nairobi, and these guys are suffering in South Sudan. So this whole visit just made me realize and open my eyes that really none of us have done anything special to be where we are today. We need to realize that we are who we are by the grace of God, and we must be grateful and appreciate the things that we sometimes take for granted. You take for granted that you'll have water, and sometimes you don't have water in your house. Sometimes you don't have electricity. The little inconveniences that come, they make you forget the greater good and the greater advantages that you have. So we must learn to appreciate the things that seem to be, there, and, we are so used to them, because when you look at the other part of the world, there are many people who don't have those things. And also when you think like that, then it also makes you realize that we are here for a bigger purpose than ourselves. We are here and we need to accomplish something that God has stored in us. And so the opportunity to do good to another human being is always there, no matter how small. People always look for the big things that they want to do. You are like, the big things are what matter. No, it is doing good to another human being, no matter how small it is. That is what matters, and that is good. So we shouldn't overlook the small things that we can do to help other people and think that the big things are what are important. No, it's about really the opportunities as they come. Let us do good to other people. Another one is, stealing from the poor. You remember, we've been having famines, like or cycles of famine in this country. In 2012, this was an article that Transparency International had reported about food aid being ripe for corruption. And remember in 2011, the Turkana famine, and everybody was like, oh my goodness, how can Kenyans be starving? And remember how much money was raised. And the question is, did all this money really go to help the people who needed to be helped? And I'm sure you've also heard about these cases of food distribution that happens in Kenya. And you have people and organizations in charge of food distribution. And you will discover that the food actually does not get to the people who are the most needy. I'm sure you've heard of that people will either give their relatives, or they give their friends, or they sell the food, but it doesn't get to the ones who are actually meant to get that food. And the people who are doing this are people just like you and me. They are Kenyans, they are people with families, they have relatives. And so the question is, for us who are in positions where you are supposed to help people who are in need, because like, let's say if I'm doing food distribution in a certain part of Kenya, well, maybe I'm working there and that's not my home, but I have a home area, a village where I come from, and I probably have relatives, friends who I care about who will need that food support. Won't I want whichever organization is distributing food in my home area to deal with the people in my home area in a fair manner, such that the ones who really need the food will get it? That is what I would want. And so you, wherever you are, you also need to do the same thing. So we just need to remember that for us who much is given, a lot is expected from us, because we have needy people everywhere. They may be related to you or not be related to you, or they may be family, or they may just be people you care about. And so remember, if you're in a position where you're going to shortchange or steal from somebody who is needy, remember they have loved ones who care for them. Just the way like you have your people back home or wherever they are, who you care for and would want to be handled in a better way. And so that just reminds us of the golden rule of do unto others what you'd like done to you. A lot of times people forget about that. And I remember one of the projects that I worked in this country. We worked in very remote parts of this country, places where most people don't like to go because, the terrain is hard, life is hard. Even implementing projects there is very hard. But I remember telling my team, we need to do the best for these communities, because where we come from, there's another organization doing the same thing that we are doing. And you would want your mother, your auntie, your cousin, whoever is going to a health facility to receive good care. And so we who are in this place, giving care to strangers and people who we don't know, can we do the best and do what is required of us, so that even whoever is in another place is doing the same thing for our relatives, okay? So I think we always need to keep reminding ourselves that, let us keep doing good, because I may not directly be benefiting my person, but the fact is this is a human being who needs that good, and there's somebody somewhere who matters to me who is being done good by somebody else. Okay, so I just wanted to pick this from Proverbs 22. It says, do not exploit the poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court, for the Lord will take up their case and will exact life for life. Unfortunately, the world we live in is a world where it's always about me first. You don't think about the poor. In fact, if you're able to score one above other people, you feel really good about it and you feel like, yes, I'm on top of the world, but you have crushed people, you have exploited people. May we always remind ourselves that we are not to exploit the poor, yeah? Let us be people who give people a hand up, yeah? And do what is good, because it is the right thing to do, yeah? Let us not forget that. Now, the other one is about withholding good, yeah? Do not withhold good from people when it is in your power to do so. A lot of people enjoy being in positions where they can exert power over people and decide, yes, I will help you. No, I won't help you, so that you can realize I am the one who's calling the shots and all that. That actually is not the right thing to do. It is not good. And even when something is not in your power to do, still wish good for people and let them go. We always say that, one good turn deserves another. You did something good for me, so I will do something good for you. Yes, that is true. But then, even if somebody has not done something good to you, don't limit doing good to them because you're yet to receive your good from them. Just give it if it is in your power to do so. I have two examples I want to share around this not withholding good. One is there's an organization I am engaged with. I sit on the board, and they are a faith-based organizations. They do work in the community and so on. So there's a grant they were applying from a donor. And when you put in your grant application, donors will always want recommendation letters. They would want a recommendation letter just to show that, yes, this is the work you normally do and you're well known and so on. So this organization approached somebody who was in a position to give them a recommendation letter. And the recommendation letter, as I was saying, was really just to confirm that, yes, they have worked in this area, they do this kind of work. And so, what they are requesting to be funded for is well within their expertise. Do you know this person refused to give them the recommendation letter because he wanted to be given something, a bribe. And this organization did not give that bribe. So they handed in their application without the recommendation letter. So when I was following up later, I'm like, so how did it go? And how did the application, did you do everything? They're like, yes, we gave everything except the recommendation letter. And I was like, why? Because, it's part of the things that you need to, will be scored. They're like, it came in later after the deadline had passed because somebody held on to it. And I thought, what a shallow-minded person, what a mean person, and just somebody who is misusing their position, because what does it cost you to give a recommendation letter for an organization that very well, you know what they do, they have done this work for you? Must you benefit directly by getting something from this letter? Won't it have done well for this guy to give the recommendation letter and say, I wish you well in your application? These guys could win the grant. When they're looking for jobs, who knows if somebody who matters to him may have gotten an opportunity to work in that program. So I said that this is just a classic example of somebody who is in a position to do good, but doesn't do good and denies themselves and many other people an opportunity that would probably benefit them in a way that they don't even know. And even if it doesn't benefit them directly, you've benefited other people. You know, we should seek to do good in this world. There's so much that goes wrong in this world. There's so much trouble, such that if you have an opportunity to do good, please let us do it. Then the second example is actually involving me. So I've been doing a bit of consulting on the side. So I have a friend who has a consulting company who approached me and said, you know what, there's a bid you want to go for. And I think you're really well placed to be our lead in this as we put in the bid. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I can do it. So we looked at it and looked at what was needed. And the only thing I didn't have was written references. Because you know, the way you do jobs and you don't think about getting reference letters later. Of course, after this, I made sure I had all my reference letters. But at that time, I hadn't gotten reference letters. So I told him, you know what? If you put me on this as your lead and I don't have reference letters, we are going to miss marks. Let me give you somebody who has done this work before, and I know obviously has reference letters in place, and they'll be able to do the work well for you. So I handed over that opportunity to this other colleague of mine, and he was like, oh, thank you very much for linking me with this other professional. We have done the bid together, now we are waiting. They won the bid and started doing the work. And guess what? They needed more people to help. They came back to me and they were like, you know what, Dr. Koki, can you join the team and help us? And I was like, of course. I was like, thank you, I'm glad. This is an opportunity. So I kept on telling myself, so if I had told this guy, okay, I don't have reference letters and I don't know anyone who can do this job, because since it's not me, I will not recommend anyone, maybe they wouldn't have gotten that job. And now, would they even have had a chance to do this consultancy? No, but I said, you know what, this is a good opportunity. I would have loved to do it, but I don't have everything that is needed to tick the box yet. Yes, I know I can, but let me hand you over to somebody. And eventually I still ended up being part of the team. So for me, that was just an example of like, you know what, do not withhold good, because it comes to benefit you in one way. And even if it doesn't benefit you, it will benefit other people who matter to you, or even just general good to the world. So, you know, the way we always say, tenda wema nenda zako, let us always hold to that. Yeah, do good and then just go. If it comes back to you, that's fine. If it doesn't come, you have contributed to making the world a better place. Then we have a lot of sayings that people have, and I just wanted to pick a few just to remind us, you know, as you make your daily decisions, you know, what have people been saying and how can we encourage ourselves to keep on doing things that are right, things that help build our legacy and help us live our purpose in this life. There's a Nigerian proverb that says, it is the heart that does the giving. The fingers only let go, because it starts from the heart. It starts from inside saying, you know what, I want to do good. I want to help. And then now it's determining now, how does that help actually come? And then it is the hand that gives, which receives. And when it receives, it's so that it can give again. So it is a cycle. The hand that gives, which receives, and it receives and gives and receives again. So it is a cycle that we need to appreciate, that as we give, we receive, that we can continue giving. And we said, you know what, we don't have to aim for those big, you know, there are some guys who will make big changes in the world and they'll be so famous and everybody will know them, like their Mother Teresa was. Oh, she helped so many people. But she said, if you can't feed 100 people, then just feed one. That is making enough difference, because you've made a difference in somebody's life. So let us never feel like, oh, what I'm about to do is so little, it doesn't make a difference. No. If it's one person you can feed, do it. If it's one person you can help, do it. Don't say, I will wait to help when they are 10 or when they are 20. No, start with that one. Charles Dickens said, no one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of another. And you have not lived today until you have done something for someone who can never repay you. Yeah. So those are the things we just need to think about. And like, you know what, I will help you. And I'm not looking about whether you're going to be able to repay me or not? Am I in a position to help you? Let me help you. And then you move on, right? And in Proverbs 19, verse 17 says, whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for what they have done. And we know that God does not have any unpaid debts. He always repays generously. So whatever is you're able to do for the poor, whatever you're able to do for those in need, you do it. Yeah, don't withhold what is good. Give it, and give it to the best of your ability. We all have different talents, as is mentioned in the Bible. We all have different abilities, but it is what you are given that you're able to give from. So let us not hold back, but rather help others. Now, remember that people will always, the things that you have done for people, they will remember. They will remember what you did that made their life easier, that lessened a burden they carried, the tears that you shed together, the joy and laughter that you shared, successes that you celebrated together, losses that you cried over, things that you did with people. That is what people remember. And notice that the constant denominator in all these things is you being present. That is what matters. So material things are good. And material things really add flavor to your presence. But the main thing is being present. So never say that I don't have enough money to help somebody. No, you yourself are enough by being present for somebody, to even just talk, to share, to listen, to celebrate. That is good enough. And that is something that is it looks like a small thing, but let me tell you, people remember such things. I don't know how many of you have attended funerals where people are talking about the person who has died and they have said what this person did for them. It could be things over 20, 30 years ago, small things. And if we are honest with ourselves, I'm sure we ask ourselves, will we have people who say such things about us when we are no longer there? And remember, people will not really be talking so much about, oh, this person had the biggest car, or they had, a lot of money, but they will remember when I needed to go to hospital, or when I had nothing, you carried me in your car, or you did things for me. You see, so being present and helping. So let's not feel limited because of material things. Let us remember that it is us who give of ourselves to help people and make a difference. So yes, we are all busy in our daily hustle, but we make time for the things that matter to us. We only have 24 hours in a day. Yes, that's true, but we will make time. We will make time for those things that matter. And at the end of our life, what will matter most is what we did over the course of our lives and how we touched people's lives. That is really what matters at the end, because you'll be like, did I help people? Or was I just passing through life and never touched even one person's life? So we need to live our life daily, looking at, to have an opportunity to make a difference to anybody, and then trying to make that difference. And so there's this guy called, he was a Professor Clayton Christensen, Harvard business professor, and really one of the most intelligent guys of our time. In 2013, he said this, and I'll just read it the way he said it. He said, when I have my interview with God, our conversation will focus on the individuals whose self-esteem I was able to strengthen, whose faith I was able to reinforce, and whose discomfort I was able to assuage, a doer of good, regardless of what assignment I had. These are the metrics that matter in measuring my life. This realization, which occurred nearly 15 years ago, guided me every day to seek opportunities to help people in ways tailored to their individual circumstances. My happiness and my sense of worth has been immeasurably improved as a result. And so, yes, let us continue to seek success and work hard. But as you do that, you need to be able to know, how am I helping the people around me? How am I making a difference in the lives of those people who I interact with, who come into my life? Because those opportunities are there. And at the end of it all, it's really going to be about what difference did I make in people's lives? And so Forbes magazine in 2012 published the 25 biggest regrets in life. And they asked, which are yours? What are yours, So here are some of the 25. You can look this up and look at the full list of the 25. I just picked a few. And some of them were really like working so much at the expense of family and friendships, not staying in touch with some good friends from my childhood and youth, worrying about what others thought about me so much, not going on more trips with the family, friends, not burying the hatchet with a family member or an old friend, not having the courage to get up and talk at a funeral or an important event, and not visiting a dying friend before he or she died. These are some of the biggest regrets that we have in life. And notice there are things that you just make a decision about on a daily basis. You can just decide, you know what, I'm going to call that friend. This is somebody who we have shared a lot. Just call, just say hi. Or simply say, you know what, we have argued and had a misunderstanding with somebody, but let's talk about it. Let's put this behind us, you know? Or hearing somebody sick and saying, oh, I'll go see them. You know, somebody saying, you know, I'm not well, please come and see me. And you're like, oh, yeah, I'll come. And then the next thing, they're no longer there. And yet all you needed was really, you know what, I must see this person. I will catch up on what else needs to be done. So again, the decisions that we need to make. And the reality is that we will all have regrets in life. I mean, that is a fact of life. We are human, we have shortcomings, we don't always do what we intend to do or what we want to do, but we need to learn from our experiences and those of others as we go through life and minimize our regrets as much as possible. So the thing is about minimizing. We can never eliminate them, yeah, but we can minimize our regrets. And this can only happen through the choices and the decisions we make every day. And these choices and decisions every day is what will really make up our legacy, is what will be, people will be like, oh yes, I know this person. And whenever I meet them, I know they will have a smile for me, they will encourage me. If they can help, they can, you know, somebody who makes life better in whichever way, because there's nothing too big or too small that you can do. It's really all about lessening someone's burden, listening to somebody, helping somebody, and all doing this from a point of, you know what, I want to make the world a better place. Coming from a point of, you know what, I want to fulfill my purpose in life. I want to make a difference. I want not to leave a situation that I could do something about and say, you know what, let me wait for somebody else. Why is it only me who's trying to solve the problem? No, if you are able to do it, do it. Don't wait for other people. Yes, thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Koki, for that. Very powerful talk. I think if you've not been, I think all of us have been touched somehow by what you've said. I'd like to open the floor up for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand so that you may ask, or if you like, you can also put it on the chat so that we can also ask Dr. Koki to respond. Or even if you have a comment, that's still welcome. So who would like to go first? Any takers? Okay, so I see Anjiri. Please go ahead, ask your question. Unmute and ask a question.
Thank you, President Wilson. And let me just first appreciate the speaker for a very inspiring and enlightening talk. I'm just interested to know she's achieved quite a lot in terms of her career, I'm sure as a mother. So I just want to understand what are the things that have enabled her to get to where she is in terms of like her routines, daily routines, and all that. Legacy living is about living it each and every day. So at the end of the day, I believe what you do in a single day actually contributes to now the legacy living. So maybe she can just give us a highlight of how she lives out her legacy daily in terms of her routines, her habits. Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Sara, you can respond. We'll wait for other questions.
Okay, thank you. Well, yes, as you've mentioned, yes, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a doctor. I think for me, what I can say that my first, okay, how do I say this? Let me start by saying I have made it clear to myself, or rather made myself understand, first of all, what is most important in my life and prioritized the things that I need to do in life, okay? Because then when you start with that, then everything falls in line, because then I know what is important to me. Now, first of all, I am a Christian, so that is very important to me. So I live my life in a way that reflects and aspires to do what God would want me to do. So it starts by there. So that is like my manual that I will try. Of course, we are human. We don't always do all that is needed, but that is my aspiration. And that's what I work towards. The second thing is that I am a wife, I'm a mother. My family is important to me. Yes, I know my job is equally important, but I know if I don't wake up today, my organization will replace me in 5 minutes, but my family is not going to replace me. So I know that they are more important to me, and I need to put them first, even as we juggle. You know, this world, we have to do a lot of juggling, and we talk about work-life balance, which is not easy to do. But I think when you know what is important, then you figure out, how can I make things work? So for me, my daily routine, and like now my children are a bit bigger, but like when they were younger, I had purpose that I was never going to miss any school event. I was an involved mom. I needed to participate if there was anything in the PTA, I'd be there. And I would make it work by letting my office know that I have this time to take off and I will still get my work done. So if it means I will need to work late on a particular day, or maybe put in some extra time over the weekend, I will do it. But I did not shy away from saying, I need to leave because I have to attend this function. It is a sports day. I need to go for the sports day. It's a swimming gala. I need to do this. So, and I realized that when you start living like that, people will also give you that time, because, you know, if you show them what is important and you're still delivering, by the way, this does not mean that you don't deliver, you still work, but it's just that you've made it very clear what your priorities are, such that if it's time for family and there are things that I need to do for family, then kindly excuse me so that I can go attend to my family. When I come back, I will finish what needs to be done. And if I will finish it at midnight, because I promised I'm going to do it at midnight, then I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do it at that time. So I have tried to live a life that is very purposeful in terms of making sure my family doesn't suffer, but also my job doesn't suffer. I have learned the importance of keeping your word. And especially like for us who work in careers which have very tight timelines and deadlines, if you promise somebody that a document will be ready by 4 p.m., please have it ready at 4 p.m. If it is not going to be ready at 4 p.m. and this is noon, you can see you're not going to be ready, please pick up that phone and ask for more time. Ask for more time and say, you know what, this is, I'm running behind, but you will get it by midnight, and do that. So for me, I think that is one of the habits that I have picked up. And I have done many late nights, because during the day I was probably doing something that I needed to do for my family or whatever it is, but I will do that late night. I will hand over the document. Of course, at some point you suffer as the individual, because there's a time I realized, wow, okay, so my life is just my family, my work. Koki is getting lost somewhere in the middle. We don't have time for myself. But then you realize, you know what, I can actually delegate. I don't have to do everything, because that's something we tend to struggle with, especially as mothers and professionals. You feel like you must do everything yourself, that if you ask for help with your kids or ask for help, you feel like, oh, no, I should be able to do everything. I think we need to realize we cannot be super women, and you need to have a very good network that is around you and can support you. So at one, you can delegate at work when you need to. And when you can't delegate at work, even like I remember there are times maybe I was traveling and I'm out of town and there's something, I will make sure my family is there representing me in whatever event that is. Yeah. So you need a good support network around you. And so as you do all these things, then you'll be able, to live your life in a manner that, first of all, you keep your word, because keeping your word is important. Living an upright life, and your name, I tell you, your name is everything. So we must aspire to just make sure that your name, your integrity is unquestionable, because those are the things that matter. And that is what, when people meet with you, they'll be like, oh yeah, so you're so and so. And they see it in the way you treat them. They see it in the way you do your work. You're professional, you want to do a good job. And if you're not able to do something, you're willing to ask for help. You're a team player, those kind of things. I think, I don't know if that answers the question. I know I have said a lot of things, but I think for me, that's what I attempt to do it. And then I also know that, oh, I cannot do everything. So what cannot be done today, tomorrow is another day. Yeah. So sometimes we can beat ourselves up about, oh, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. And you feel like, oh, I've let people down. But if you have your priorities, then, start with what is most important that needs to be done. Eventually you'll get to the list and finish everything, and don't beat yourself up. We are only human. We can just try our best. I think the thing is, at the end of the day, try your best to do everything, put your best foot forward and seek help. I mean, asking for help doesn't make you a lesser person. It actually makes you even achieve even more. Yes, I don't know if that answers well.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay.
That's very, very comprehensive answer.
Okay.
So, anyone else with a question? I see here like a couple of comments on the chat. So Lorraine says she loves what you said. She's impressed. Mercy says awesome talk. And then there's Corinne says, thanks Dr. Koki for this inspiring and challenging conversation. Yeah. So anyone else with a question? Don't want to close that for anyone. I do feel that Dr. Koki needs another career. So like in terms of being an inspirational speaker, hope she takes it up. Anyone else with a question? Okay, Sara, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Koki, for that. I'd like now to invite Rotarian Dirango Ngujiri for the vote of thanks. Rotarian Dirango.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Dr. Koki, wow, what an inspiration message to the crowd today. If I call the members who are very attentive, what you are discussing about is inspiration. And this reminds us as a club, what we have done to the girls as the Starter girls for the last 4 years. I've been supporting the girls who are very much miserable. They didn't have hope of getting education. And now, due to the club membership contribution, the girls will be joining university come this year. Thank you so much for the inspiration message to the club. And one thing you said that Tena Wema and Azako, and we see at the end of the day, what have you achieved? What difference have you made to somebody? It's not that time when you are gone that he remember you. It's a challenge to me that at the end of the day, I should do what difference do I make somebody's life? That chokra I met in the street, that beggar I met on the street, that person was miserable in the street. And especially this time that we don't have physical meeting, don't have physical meeting anymore, we can call somebody. People are going through a lot of challenges. And if we're able to reach somebody and see what that person is going through, that's a great inspiration. And on behalf of the club, on behalf of the Mr. President, Wilson, thank you so much for the inspiration message. Thank you for visiting our club. And I will request, Mr. President, we need to make Dr. Koki to be one of us, to be a Rotarian, because what she does is what we do. So I think he should join our team and be part of us. Thank you so much, Dr. Koki. And in future, visit our club physically, you're most welcome to join and be part of our team. Thank you so much, Madam Koki. Thank you, Mr. President. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Bujiri, and you echo our sentiments very well. I think it's high time you become a Rotarian, so we can help you during that journey. But again, once again, thank you so much for your talk. So this section, I'd like to now invite our SAs for the day. This Rotarian Joki Maingi and Rotarian Stalin Moses to take us through the session. Karibuni sana.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to invite my assistant today, Njoki. Please take over.
Is Njoki, are you with us? Mama Israel. I think she's not. So, Stalin, you can just proceed.
Technical challenges, my friend. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You disappeared.
No, I had on phone. Let me see. Just a minute. She disappeared again. Okay, just continue before she comes in. We don't want members to lose. Joki, you're back?
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you well. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for that. Today I am co-SAing with our SA Stalin. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And first, let me mention that we are trying to raise our funds for the foundation. We have an ambitious target of about $2,000 to the foundation as a club in giving. As you may well know, that every dollar that we give to the foundation comes back in form of a grant which we can apply for any of our projects from Rotary International. So kindly feel encouraged to give to the foundation. Any dollar that will go, I will make sure that it has been credited to an individual's account. So yes, the joke of the day. My say asked me to do a joke. I'm rusty, but nikujaribu. So a man and a woman. Oh, I hope they're not PG. They're not 18 and under. And if you are, please cover your ears. A man and a woman started to have sex in the middle of a dark forest. After 15 minutes, the man finally gets up and says, "Damn, I wish I had a flashlight." The woman says, "Me too. You've been eating grass for the past 10 minutes. So I will ask all of us to...
No.
I will ask all of us to, anybody who came in after the meeting began, we were only, I think, about 7 or 8 people. If I can remember, Muto, Corinne, Rosbella, Bakita, myself, and Stalin, I think, were the first people to join the meeting. So anybody who came there after,
seem to be having technical.
who has any happiness? No, sorry. I don't want to say label pins because, no, we just had a very fulfilling talk. So I think we can say that. We can say fulfilling talk. Yes, we will do good. Anybody without a label pin, and you know yourself, myself beginning, kindly also give $100 shillings to the foundation, to the account. for essay collection. And then anyone with any happiness or unfortunately sadness to share, the floor is yours. So we can start off. We can start off. Kindly raise your hand so that we go in an order, unless you want me to do another joke. Sterling, I'm having technical difficulties. If you could take over this part.
Oh, okay. So I see Penina. Kamau, please give us your happy or sad. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I have $5 happy. 2 happy dollars goes to Dr. Koki. She's my associate in a group called Maisha Investment. And it was a pleasure listening to her. That was a great talk, Koki. And $3 happy goes towards the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Penina. Anyone else? I see I have a sad dollar from Sami. He says the joke. Jokey, that's on you. So let me see if there's any other. But the joke was interesting. I could see the president dying of laughter. Ndirangu Ngunjiri, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, SA. I have $2 happy for today's meeting, and finally I have a physical meeting next week, and also for the guest speaker. It was very interesting talk. Thank you so much. SA.
Thank you very much. Next is Njiru Kiru. Floor is yours.
Thank you, say, but kindly fine for spelling my name wrongly. Njiru Kiru. I have $3 happy dollars. One is for the speaker, for the inspiring and enlightening and challenging presentation. Looking forward to more. The second happy dollar is Njiri's welcome the new addition into our family, princess. So another happy dollar for
Yay!
Yes. Yeah, the third happy dollar is for Rotary, the family and friendship for Rotary.
Congratulations.
Sorry, who gave you permission to fine me? I'm the SA, so I fine you. I fine you $2. Show you who is boss here. Okay. Any other happy? I see there is one happy from Corinne. Thank you, Corinne, for the inspiring talk. And then I can also see, oh, that's a transaction reference. Okay, so I'll give my happy dollars. I'll give $5 happy for the presentation. It was very inspirational. 2 for that, and then 3 for the foundation. Sorry, 2 for the foundation, and then 1 for my assistant Njoki for a good job.
Thank you, Mr. SAA. I'll also give 2 happies. One is for the very inspiring talk, Dr. Koki, that was just awesome. And our former treasurer is very right. You have a home in Rotary Club of Madaraka. The second happy is for the joke. I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. SA. That joke, that Mr. IPP, that joke was just the bomb.
Beautiful. Okay, so any other? Okay, since there is no other, I will take it back to the president. Wilson, thank you.
Thank you so much, Stalin and Njoki Mangi, for that session. I will give my $4 happy. One for Dr. Koki for agreeing to come and giving us this amazing talk. Thank you so much for coming and honoring our invite. My other happy dollars are to Njiri for him getting having another baby. Congratulations so much. I think that's another interactor coming to Madaraka. So really glad for that. So this is just more of insistence. So on like airtime. So please guys, let's rock up for the installation. I know guys were not here early in the meeting, but the installation is still on 28th of this month. So RSVP for that, and hoping to see all of you there. So the other happy dollars is just for being happy, and it's a Monday. And a $3 for the joke. I was just laughing because it was agonizingly bad. Anyway, cool. So we've come to the close of the meeting. And I'd like to do a final toast. So if you have a glass, sort of charge it. If you don't, hand over heart. In conjunction with the Rotary Club of Thika, the Rotary Club of Karen, the Rotary Club of Nairobi, the Rotary Club of UN Afia, and the Rotary Club of Nairobi, Madaraka, I give you Rotary and the world over.
Rotary.
Thank you so much. I now officially close the meeting. The meeting is officially closed. Thank you so much for joining us today. Eat well, sleep well, stay safe. Please continue protecting yourself against Corona. And for guys, I know vaccines are still being rolled out. I don't know what the criteria is, but I see guys getting vaccinated. So if you can, or if you've not been vaccinated, and if there's an opportunity to get vaccinated, I think it's a good opportunity. So take up the chance. And let's keep on staying safe. This thing is not a joke.
Okay, bye.
So can you stop recording so that what we say is not recorded, please?
I'm trying to figure out what, oh yeah, here it is. Sorry, I was looking for it.